it showed up today. Alright, so recording is started. Let's get into these questions. Alright, from Brian P. It's hard to say a percentage. I think that with Panda 4, on-site structure got more important. It's more important to have more content, more unique content, especially for bigger niches. But it's hard to say like a percentage because even with great on-page structure and a lot of really good content, you still need links to rank. So it's really tough to say with this new update because I normally would say a very low percentage because you could overcome that with really high quality links. But with this update, on page has become so much more important, it seems. So it's really hard to give percentage. Just try to get everything right and you'll rank. By that I mean just have unique content, have good content. The bigger the niche, the more content you're going to need. Then just get as strong as links as you can, following the anchor text we do. For Michael, Michael, I would just delete if I were you. Um, that's what I've been doing. At least I've been deleting and then re-adding. I doubt anyone has tested in depth enough to come up with an exact answer for that. But me personally, I've just been deleting the old and then just doing a new article. But I don't know which one is better, to be honest. From Brian. I might come back to that one, Brian, because that could take a little bit. Let's see how many questions we get. Just because we have a bunch of new people on. So I might get back to that one. We'll see how many questions we got. Jeff, because they don't even really look at that data anymore, and I think it could actually hurt you. It can just kind of lead to over optimization easier, so that's why I don't fill out the keywords. They're definitely not needed at all. Rob, there's definitely it's definitely taking longer, Rob, but at the same time, with trustworthy sites, when I shoot a good PBN link at them, I notice movement within a few days still. But on the other end of that, a lot of the links I do, they are taking a lot longer. I wouldn't say it's like a 30-day sandbox or what they're calling it, but there's definitely a pause. And it's actually smart to Google because it makes it hard to track what's working. What link made it move up. What anchor text helped the most. It's harder to track that now because there is a pause. But I wouldn't say it's necessarily a 30-day because I see movement right away sometimes still. From Patrick, has YouTube changed its keyword criteria? I don't know what you mean by that, Patrick. Can you ask that in a different way? Alright, from Michael. I wouldn't necessarily say you need to start over. I would. It depends what type of anchor text you're throwing at. If you're throwing like a lot of keyword optimized, go try to throw some generic stuff in there, or some branded anchor text. Like URL strings, or like for example, I've been talking about some things I'm seeing that's working, and one of the things is throwing in longer anchor text that's kind of like generic. So if I'm trying to rank for, let's say like e-cigarette brands, okay, I might do something like check out the check out our guide for the best brands of cigarettes online, something like that. Because it's a long anchor text. It's kind of generic, but at the same time it has some keywords in it. And that seems to be like when sites start dipping for me. When I throw that in, it seems to kind of put it back on the upwards track. So you might want to try something like that and see what it does for you, Michael. So let's go get the new batch of questions. All right, from Aaron. Yeah, 301 the old URLs, Aaron. And to do that, it's really simple. I'm not even good with like code and all that. I just used a plugin called Simple 301 Redirects. And once you install that, you can just go and search it in the WordPress plugins. And then once you install it, it will say, what URL do you want to 301, and then where do you want 301 it to. And it just gives you two boxes, very simple instructions. And you just hit save, and it does it for you. So it's very easy to do. From Anne. eatmoresalads.com. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is you need to fix that title. Alright, so you have the right keywords in the title, whatever you're trying to rank this target page for. I would capitalize like eat more, or eat the E, the M, the S, kind of make it look better. I would get more content on your home page. I would say it's not enough content. I like how you got that down there. Oops. Why aren't you going up? There we go. Alright, so you got the title there. Your title's kind of messed up here. You want it to be create a successful diet plan, like a separator, and then your website name. And again, I would probably add a little more content there. Looks like you only have 3 articles, so I'd get more content, fix those titles, and that would be a good start for you. But I'll definitely add more content. That'd be my number one. From Rob. Yeah, I mean, there's just it's just a delay like everything else, Rob. And it seems like GSA is not, and spamming is not working as well as it used to. At least that's what I'm saying. It's not to say it's not working, it's just not working as well as it used to. From Dave. I bought those on Namecheap and Snap Names, Dave. Got them all for $69. From Ben. Looks like you're gonna re-ask that, Ben. I'm guessing. From Aaron. I don't necessarily use supporting links, Aaron. I start with PBNs, and if it needs more, I might go to other stuff. And actually, for the first time in a while, I'm testing out blog commenting again. I just hired someone today, so I can just test some more stuff with that with anchor text. But I mean, for the most part, I'm using PBNs, and then just like social stuff like YouTube, going back to the video, Facebook, stuff like that. So pretty basic. It's still working very well. Alright, let me get a new screenshot. I'm not really worried about upgrading the page rank, Brian. It's more about domain authority, and that comes with links. Alright, so I mean, basically just by sending links, you're increasing the domain authority, which in a way increases the page rank too. But yeah, I mean, it's all done by links, most of it at least. From Nick. None is duplicated on the same site. I'm not sure what you mean, Nick. None is duplicated on the same site. See if you can re-ask that, Nick. I'm not understanding. Alright, from Ben. This formatting's messed up. Let's see. Wavesurge.com. I like this one right here, Ben. Because, this silo is going to all be about SEO and then New Hampshire area. Okay, so that would be New Hampshire SEO, right? And then when you want to target another state, you just change this right here. That way you don't have to keep repeat. Like, right, if you did it this way, you'd have to keep, whoops. You would have to keep repeating SEO on that second level. There's no reason to do that. You can just have it once right here and then change this variable here. And I don't see any reason to put in services as well. So definitely this one right here, SEO NH. Hi, Pete. And yeah, if you're ready to build backlinks, you can do it right away, and no problem with that. Yeah, you can still. Just takes longer, and it's just a little more difficult now. And Jimmy would know the answer better, more details about that than me, 'cause he does that specifically. But I know it's still working. It's just a little harder. From Aaron. No, it's not just for new sites, Aaron. But new sites are more likely to have like a longer pause, is what I'm noticing. But I mean, really, Google should have done that a long time ago. Alright, for Mike, is there any specific recommendation? Mike, I always switch it up. A lot of my article length, to be honest, is around 750 because that's the amount that I have my writer do. I'd send me 30 articles on this, and they're always 750 words. So a lot of mine are around that range, 600 to 800. Sometimes I'll cut them in half and do 350s. Sometimes I'll add just a video, sometimes just a picture, sometimes both, sometimes neither. Sometimes I'll do 2, 3 authority links, sometimes none. So I switch it up as much as I can, Mike. I don't really have like a pattern or a specific number for anything. I just don't do too much of anything, if that makes sense. That seems to work well. From Jay. Dubstep maker. I mean, it's probably just the optimization. Boot in Vegas. We'll come back to this. This is kind of like with this question. So I might come back to that one. Just want to make sure we get through these. And maybe, if I don't get to these, maybe I'll just do a video on analyzing competition. On Patrick. I mean, now I would probably add in more generic stuff, Patrick. But I mean, yeah, it's still working. It's just it's taking longer. From Andre. Yeah, you can link from Vimeo to your domain. I think Vimeo allows you to. I mean, if they allow you to, yeah, you would do that. But yeah, I link from YouTube videos to my sites all the time. No, I wouldn't link PBN to PBN to PBN. I just pass the PBN power to my own site. I mean, we're doing some testing with this, like domain authority stacking type stuff, but for you guys, I would just get PBNs and link them to what you want to rank for now. You know, if there's something better, we'll test it and we'll pass it on. A lot of people say that like affiliate sites get targeted and stuff, but I mean, in a way, affiliate sites are needed. Like the e-cigarette sites. If someone goes and types in best e-cigarette brands, you're going to get affiliate sites, right? Like they gotta have affiliate sites. People aren't just going to put up a site like that to make no money in most cases. So I mean, they kind of need those sites. So when people talk about how like they don't like affiliate marketing, I don't really necessarily find that true. Now, affiliate marketers are more likely to do SEO. There might be like a few things that they look for specifically on affiliate sites, but I don't think they really treat them that much different. So I wouldn't really say it like targeted affiliate sites, Rob. Just SEO in general. They're trying to get better results for their business or for their search engine. All right, from Joe. Yeah, you can do that, Joe. Although I'd be very careful with a one-page website with this new update. You might want to add other content just to get other content on the site. Let me see if Seattle Accountant is still ranking after this update. Because that's a one-page site. It's like one or two. Yeah, it's number 3 now. So it went down. It was number 1. It went down number 3. So I mean, it's possible, but if you have a little more content, it's gonna help pad you a little more, make you a little more safe. So you might want to add just a little more content, Joe. From Mike. Nope, haven't even tried, Mike. I've never even really tried to recover a site, to be honest, with something that's been hit with spam type stuff that with links that I don't control. I've never tried it. From Anne, a keyword. Oh, you're talking about that site. From Joe. How many Google searches? I have no idea, Joe. A lot. I mean, oh, you're saying like the numbers? I mean, I don't know. It depends. 'Cause, I mean, you can have something with low. Or how many Google searches would you call? I'm not understand. I don't think I'm understanding that one, Joe. Try to ask that in a different way. From Ben. I'm not sure why they're doing that, Ben. I mean, they're getting visitors from their site from social, which I'm sure is a benefit. But why they're sending it to subdomains, I don't know. If it's not like the money site, I would have to kind of see it in action to get a better idea. It's hard to like vision all of that in my head and kind of guess why they're doing it. I'd have to kind of see it in action. And Jimmy would be really good at knowing what's going on there too, probably. He's really good with subdomain stuff. Alright, from Pete. Yeah, I mean, I just use this for my page and posts. Alright, shouldn't be showing, I don't know why I'd be showing a different screen. Because I just shot that video. Make sure you have the right WordPress by Yoast Pete. I don't worry about everything else. All I do is what I showed in the video. I change the page and the post titles to this. That's all I do. From Chris. Not necessarily, because those are very low competition, Chris, or a lot lower. And I'm seeing with lower competition, it's they're coming a little quicker. So I mean, it's not necessarily true. At the same time, you're kind of fighting against everyone else. You know, like everyone else has the same problem. So I wouldn't say that's necessarily true. From Joe. I mean, that depends on the situation, Joe. You know, it's. I mean, if it's something, if you have the resources and it's something that needs to be ranked quick, I would say send them. You know, send them pretty quick. Send a link or two a day if you need to. But I mean, if it's not something that needs to be rushed, you know, do a link a week. See how it reacts after a week. You know, do another link, wait another week. It just depends on the situation. I'm guessing you meant site dips after sending a couple PBNs. Like I said, I send more general anchor text. You know, check out this page on whatever, and I'll have like one of my keywords in there. All right. From Nick. That is duplicate content, Nick. You know, if there's an article that's on your site and another site, an outside blog, that's duplicate content. Is it bad? It depends. I mean, if you got if you got your content from them, like if you were the ones that copied them, then yeah, that could end up being bad. But I don't have much experience with duplicate content because I just stay far away from it. I do, you know, mostly unique stuff. But from what I understand, yeah, I mean, yeah, you can get in trouble for that if, especially if you copied their content. So I mean, yeah, that can be bad. And Ann says, Ken, talk to Brad Mabry about Amazon. All right, from Andre. I mean, me personally, I would go to social stuff like you know, Facebook and YouTube, and I would create YouTube videos and link back to it and see what that does for me. At the same time, you want to kind of gauge the competition and what you can afford with your PBNs. You don't want to go after anything that's too competitive for what you can afford. And if you can only get one or two PBNs, this might be too competitive. So it just depends on your resources. But I would hit it with the PBNs you have since you already started. Then go to some YouTube videos and social, and you can do some manual blog commenting. You can still do stuff like that, and see where that gets you, and kind of take it from there. Well, I can tell you right away, Janine, I don't like this because first of all, it's a .info, which they're almost never good. It's for erectile dysfunction, which is another negative sign. So I can tell you right away that it's probably not going to be one that I would like, but let's go ahead and take a look at it. I think that's what it was, right? For ed.info, that's right. Best treatment for ed.info. It's not nothing's coming up for that. Let me know if you gave me the wrong one. From Joe. I haven't tested with that since the update, Joe, but I'm sure it would help. Social bookmarking usually helps with indexing. From Ben. I don't really use press releases much, Ben. I've tested with them a little bit, but I haven't used them much. But I think they're fine to use, Ben. But if you do them, I would just use URL links. Like branded links with them. All right. So I mean, they're fine to use. Just use branded links when you do them. That's my recommendation. From Michael. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I probably would, Michael. From Steve. Um, I mean, I would make it related if possible. That's another thing I'm seeing with this update, guys. Is it seems like relevancy did increase in importance with this. So if you're linking to if you got a PBN and it was about health, let's say it's about electronic cigarettes in general, and you link to an electronic cigarette site, it seems like it's giving you more power now. So it seems like relevancy kind of kicked up gears even more with this latest update. So yeah, I would make it related if possible. From Michael. You can do daily, Michael. Although I would work your way up there. So if it's a site with like no links to it, then I would start like one link, wait a week, maybe do 2, 3 links the next week. It's like slowly pick it up. However you want to pick it up. But I wouldn't just go right away to links every day. And that's just me. You'd probably be fine doing it, but I like to be safe. On the other end, if it's like an expired domain that has like a bunch of links to it already, or a site you've been working on that has links to it already, a decent amount, then I would say you're fine. You're fine to do them every day. All right, from Jeff. I'm doing a mix of everything, Jeff. I'm still doing mainly keyword optimized, but I'm just adding in a little bit more long tail, if I see the site move down, I will throw in like a generic type stuff, like check out our page on the best brands here. You know what I mean? And maybe I'm going after like best e-cigarette brands. I got best brands in there, but not like e-cigarette, which I have in like most of my anchor text. So it depends on how the site moves and all that, but I'm definitely always starting with. I shouldn't say always. I'm usually still starting with money keywords. Maybe I'll start with a branded off the bat to be safe, depending how I'm feeling. But I don't start using generic stuff until later on if it's needed. All right, so I might do like a URL link to start just to get on the right foot, and then go into keyword optimized. Or I'll just go right into keyword optimized, work in the URL link a little later on, and then go into generic later if I need it. It's so hard to get an exact science because the update just happened and there's that delay. But I'm getting there. I'm starting to figure it out more and more. So, how many pages optimizes a money site? I mean, you can have a one-page money site, Dan, but again, with this update, it's harder to link with thinner content. So I mean, there's not really a limit, but the more pages, the better. I would say. The more content you have, the better. From Joe. Yeah, that's safe to do, and that'll bump your domain authority for sure, Joe. From Janine. Greg Benz. Not sure what you mean, Janine. From Nan. Because I want my link to be on the home page, Nan. That's where the link juice is. What's up, Larry? From Michael. Right away, Michael. I mean, it's on that domain. You know, they're getting power from the home page. You know, that's why Web 2.0 properties rank so well, because they're pages of a property that is very high in domain authority. So I mean, it gets right away. Doesn't mean it's going to rank right away, but it still gets that juice right away. From Nan. I haven't used AdSense in a while, Nan, but I'm sure in a way it will. Yeah, I mean, if you add it to all your sites and I mean, yeah, I mean, they're going to be able to tell which sites you have AdSense on. So in a way, it will. From Larry. I actually got a new site, Larry, that I really like. Cotton Grammar actually told me about it. It's hold on a second. I think it's turnkeyinternet.net. Yeah, turnkeyinternet.net. Their support is really quick. What was it? Web hosting. If you do get it, make sure you use this coupon TK20. I just bought this one right here, 60 IPs for 80 a month. And you know the site speed's pretty good, and the support. I've had 2 questions so far. They've gotten back to me within like 10 minutes both times. So this is a good new site. I'm using Turnkey Internet. I've used SEO web hosting. Of course, Tide Service, BizBuilder hosting. ASEO hosting is one of my favorite. Again, that's ASEO hosting. HostSEO.org I've used. $1 hosting, I believe it is, but they're not that good. But yeah, I would start with like Turnkey or BizBuilder or ASEO hosting. Those are all good. From Nan. MicrositeMasters.com will allow you to track 10 free keywords. Excuse me. But after that, you gotta pay. It's Microsite Masters. But you can probably ask those types of questions in the Facebook group and get better answers because there's so many more people that know, more than just one person does. So anything like that, like suggestions, I would ask in the Facebook group. You can get a really good response from Ken. I have no idea, Ken, because I mean it just depends on so many different things. It's really hard to say. And it depends just how come. I mean, medium can be a very large scale, and then of course it depends how strong the PBNs are and how you do your angle. I mean, it depends on so many things. It's really hard to say. From Joe. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say competition is all about the amount of searches. There's keywords out there that get 100 searches a month that are highly competitive because they're so valuable. Then there's keywords that get 10,000 searches a month that are less competitive than 100 search a month because there's no money with it. So I mean, it's not necessarily all about like the amount of searches. It's about the what the hell do they call it? I forget the word for it, but the amount of money the keyword can make. There's a specific term to say that, but I forget what it is. The Network Empire class always uses it. I just forget it. From Janine. What about copying a flyer? I mean, yeah, you can do that, Janine. I'm not sure what you're referencing that to. If it was a duplicate content thing, that would be fine as long as it's not anywhere else on the web. I'm not sure if you were the one that had that question. I buy most of my PBNs, Larry, with NameJet and Snap auctions. A little bit with GoDaddy. They seem to be more expensive, although you can still find good sites there. I don't order articles from a Fiverr guy, and I use that FAPSent for my PBNs. I don't know. I'll order 30, 40 articles at a time from Chris. I would ask that in the Facebook group, Chris, because people in there are way better at web design than I am. From Nick. No, Nick. Duplicate that's what Copyscape's for. I don't know if you ever heard of it. But if we let's go to this site that she gave me and copy this article. And what I can do is run it through Copyscape. And it will tell me if it shows up anywhere else on the web. Okay, and that one doesn't. So let's go to Google and type in lose weight fast. I'm just going to grab a random article and throw it in there. So when I get articles from my writers, who asked this question? Nick, when I get articles from my writers, I always run it through Copyscape. Okay. Of course, this is not going to give me the article how I need it. Oh, come on. Can I get a normal article? Screw it. Let's go to my Calcast site. Alright, so let's say that I wrote this, or someone wrote this for me, I would throw it in Copyscape, search, because there's 10 results. KLKS, that's fine because that's my own site. Now here's someone copying our content, okay? SmokingTheWorld.com, they're copying our content. Allstigs.info is copying our content. They're copying our content. And some of these might just be partial, because like when you list certain stuff, it can come up Copyscape, so it's matching 26%. So yeah, they're copying some of our content, but I'm not too worried about that because we had the content first. But for example, if you get an article from a writer and this came up, you wouldn't want to use it because that content's already on the web. Okay, so that's what Copyscape's used for. From Brian. I've never had a .us site, Brian. I'm not sure. But yeah, if it had links to it and you got it up and you control it, absolutely you can use it. From Janine. Yeah, and I just explained that duplicate content. Let me know if you need more on that. From Jay. Yeah, I mean, links can depend on indexing. Alright, from Ann. Yeah, absolutely, and link to it, link to your site from it, and you can also embed it on your site. Absolutely. Besttreatment.info. I'm still not seeing anything for that, Janine. A branded link is like the website name or like the company name, man. So like for KLKS.com, it'd be KLKS or KLKS.com, http://KLKS.com, anything like that. From Nan. I mean, they can still be really good sites, Dan. It doesn't have, again, PageRank isn't everything. If there's a site that doesn't have that many good PR links, but has a lot of high Alexa links, then there's a potential I'll buy it. So I mean, that's one of the two things you got to look at, or one of the many things actually. But as far as PageRank and Alexa, I definitely look at both of them. From Nick. I've never really used a program for that, Nick, so I'm not sure. James. I show that in the video, James, on how to do that, because you can do it with that page to post plugin, where you can set up the short code for each one, and do categories for each one you have. For Mike. Yeah, we actually just started a new EMD mic for a client. It's been about a month, and he's on page 2 for his term. I'll ask Mike if we can show that to people. And actually, it showed in Microsite Masters that it moved up to almost page 1, and then it moved back a little bit. So I believe it's in the midst of moving up. So yeah, with EMDs, what I'm doing is I'm just adding in like another layer of safety. So usually with EMDs now, I'll come out right away with exact anchor. So if we got like Dallas chiropractor. Is that can't spell. If we got DallasChiropractors.com, I'll probably come out right away with like DallasChiropractors.com. And I'll do something like find a chiropractor in Dallas, something like that, like a little longer. Then I'll start moving a little more towards it, like maybe like Dallas, Texas chiropractor service, something like that. And I kind of see where the site moves. Then I might, depending if the site hasn't moved that well from here, maybe I'll throw in another URL link and I'll do it like this, with HTTP in there. That's a branded link for those who are asking. All right, then I might go back and do something like best Dallas chiropractor. All right, so I'm still like kind of doing it the same way. I'm just mixing in a little bit, starting. A lot of my EMDs I've been starting with a branded anchor, like a URL link, and then I'll go into like a little bit of a longer anchor with some of the keywords in there, and I'll kind of hit more of like my exact anchors in there with some other words in there. Then I'll see how it moves, and I'll either go to something like this again, or I'll go to something more aggressive like that, depending where the movement is after like the first 3 links. From Nan. Yes, absolutely, Nan. And those are the gems. Hint, hint. From Christopher. Yeah, Christopher, we have the NHB Facebook group. There's directions in your members area on how to join that. And if you haven't joined, make sure you do. Janine? You were talking about the subdomain thing. I got you, Janine. Alright, from Jay. It just, yeah, for that, Jay, because of how aggressive we were with anchor text, changing it from e-cigarette brands to brands helped me, okay, because I was pretty aggressive with my anchor text where, everything had e-cigarette brands in it or e-cig brands or electronic cigarette brands. So with the new update, with the mix of my anchor text and the URL string I had, it was just too much. So I knew that if I just dumbed down my URL, it would most likely bounce back, and it did. So it just depends on your anchor text, how optimized. I mean, you can still do this. You can still have e-cigarette brands as your inner URL, and rank well for it, but you can't be as aggressive with your anchor text. Okay, so since my anchor text was already done, I mean, the best thing to do is just change the URL string. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. From Joe. Is it safe to create links? I mean, it should be, Joe. I've never tested it, though. And Mike says +1 for turnkey. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Jay. It's right on the website, Jay. It's like TK20. When you go to the website, it shows it. It's right there. It shows right here when you go to this page. TK20. From Steve. they'll be a benefit by themselves, Steve. Because I mean, it's just your site has more content. They don't have to have links going to them. Unless you want them to rank, then you want to send links to them. Obviously, from Nick. I'm not sure about that, Nick. From Nan. Um, no, I mean, it should be like the other ones, Nan. It should be pretty similar. Make sure you're in the right area, Nan, because I'm pretty sure it's identical to the other ones. Probably not true. I want different IPs for all my PBNs. But I don't know what Cloudflare is, so it could be true. But my guess would be no. From Jay. BizBuilder Hosting, BIZ Builder Hosting, SEO Web Hosting, Host SEO, ASEO Hosting. I have other ones as well. I can't think of them off the top of my head. From Janine. I mean, you can, Janine. You might just want to check the content to make sure it's not like all over the web. But yeah, you can. Or you can do, like curation where you post the event information, then below it or above it you have like your take on it. That's called content curation. I'm nowhere near good at content curation, but you can do that and be fine. From Jay. Again, I buy most of them from Namejet and Snap Names. And I use Register Compass as shown in the videos. From Nan. Awesome, Nan. I'm glad they're helpful. That was David Mills' idea. He comes up with all the good ideas. From David. Interesting, David. I haven't messed with a .us site in a long time. From Nan. If you're posting too much, it could take up too much room. Yeah, but I guess it depends on the. I haven't had any problems with it yet, Nan. From Jeff. I've always been pretty much all PBN, Jeff. So I mean, I'll use Video Kraken as shown with the, boosting the PBNs. We showed that video. I'll use it for that. But I mean, for the most part, PBNs are powering my sites. From Jeff. I don't really look at the trust factor, Jeff. Like a lot of people use Majestic trust factor. I've never really looked at that. I just kind of look at the amount of high domain authority links it has, page authority, domain authority, and I'll also look at the page rank, of course, of the links. I kind of mix the two together. From James. You can, as long as it's not on the web, James. You know what I mean? Again, run it through Copyscape. If it doesn't come up, you're good to go. I mean, that's the way I treat it, at least. I think we tried that one, Janine. But we can try it again. Yeah, that's not coming up either, Janine. From Nan. Yeah, I mean, you can use it as a money site, but like you said, you don't have total control. And I know people who do that well. I can actually give you an example. If you go to V26 coupon, this guy right here is using TypePad as his money site. And here it is right here. Okay. Or he's just using it as a money site. I mean, that's an example of someone doing it. From Christopher. Yeah, that's all in the members area, Christopher. From Paul. Absolutely, Paul. Absolutely fine. And again, you can find some gems with that domain authority. I mean, 20, getting below 20 is getting low, but there's still some gems you can find. But 20 and above, absolutely. Like 20 to 25 range, no one really looks at them, and there's definitely some gems in there. So, from Brian, it can be hard. I mean, I've done it. It depends on the niche and what else is on page one. But I mean, Wikipedia can be hard to beat out. It depends. From Aaron. No, I just did the 301 Aaron. That's it. From Joe. I believe they do factor in somehow, Joe. Jimmy knows the answer to that. He has a lot of experience with it. Some way it can affect the ratio on the main domain. I'm not sure how exactly. You might want to ask that in the Facebook group. See if Jimmy answers there. From Larry. No, I'd just completely delete the article and put up a new one, Larry. I don't actually change the anchor text anymore because I've seen negative effects of doing that lately. So I don't do that anymore. Sites that I did that for totally tanked. So I just don't play with changing the anchor text. I'll just totally delete it and then put up new. Alright, so I'm going to copy these last questions here. And I'll go over these questions, and I'll cover the two questions that we had in the beginning that I wrote down. Where were they? Right here. Alright, where were we? Alright, from Jay. I mean, I just from some of the other rankings I was seeing, Jay. From some of my other sites, I could just see it working. Like where if you have like part of the keyword, that it picks that up and it kind of like it puts it all together. So I could see that like from my other sites where I didn't keyword optimize as much for URLs, they stayed because I did very similar anchor text. I always do similar anchor text. I could see the ones that were less optimized were still ranking very well. So I just knew from that data that it would likely work. The movement, I believe it took like a couple weeks, if I remember correctly. Top. I don't know. The guy who has a top position. Google loves his freaking site. I don't know totally why yet. Still trying to figure it out. I've actually talked to the guy and he doesn't even know what he did. So One thing that they like is he has electronic cigarette in his domain name. They absolutely love that now. When you have partial keyword in the domain name, so that's one thing that's really helping them. And I've dug in some other things that I've seen him doing that I'm testing with, but even he doesn't know exactly what he did, which is frustrating. From Jay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Register Compass is just a search tool, Jay. They just kind of help connect the dots. They'll show you what's out there for each kind of auction site. So they're just kind of like the middleman. They get paid the monthly membership. From Omar. The lowest I've purchased is probably like 19 range, 18, 19, Omar. From James. If you're on a tight budget, I mean, content, doing content, shooting videos, posting to social, stuff like that, stuff that's free. Rob. I'm not sure because I've never tested it, Rob. I'm not sure. From Nan, last question. I wouldn't say I mainly pay attention to domain authority, Nan. I pay attention to both. If something has like page authority 56, domain authority 83, that's an awesome link. I mean, like the higher of each, the better. If you have high domain authority, high page authority, that's really good. But at the same time, if you only have page authority 20 and it's like page authority and domain authority 80, that can still be a really good link. But then if you have like page authority 30, domain authority 40, that can be a lot weaker than page authority 20, domain authority 80. So you got to kind of combine the two to get like your overall score. I mean, the higher the domain authority, the better the Alexa ranking for the site in most cases. But I mean, page authority is still very important. Alright. So let's go back to here. And we'll finish up with these two questions. Example of how I would analyze competition and cost to get to number 1. I mean, there's not really like a set way, but I mean, the main thing I do is just look at the optimization and the links. So if you got like, let's see, best way to lose weight. All right, so what I'm looking at here, we have a huge authority site number 1, huge authority site number 2 and 3, and then we have a regular site number 4. Okay. And then we have some big sites here, another big site. How stuff. These are all big sites except for this one. Unless I don't know of this site, but. So we have all like big authority sites on page 1 besides one. If this isn't like a big money keyword, I'm probably not even going to go after it. So I want to know, like, I would see how many searches does this get? How am I optimizing this? As far as money goes, like how much money am I getting for each action that's happening? And I would just kind of gauge, if it's not going to make me a lot of money, from what I see, I wouldn't even go after it. Now, if I'm not sure, what I would do is, if it's something that could make me a lot of money, I would go and look at this person, who's the only normal website, and I would analyze, what type of link power they have. All right, so this is actually a pretty high domain authority site as well. They have some really strong links. So, I mean, from what I see on the front page, I would have to really want to go after this term. To go after this because that they have high domain authorities. Way it's all high domain authority sites on the first page. So I mean, it always depends on how bad I want the keyword, what sites are ranking, and then if it's something that I want to go after, I'll start analyzing what types of links those sites have and how they're optimized. Is there EMDs on the front page? Do they have it in the title? The keywords in the title. So I kind of look at everything. Let's go look at another one really quick. Let's do like Boston SEO. Alright, so number one, this is actually a local listing, I believe. But we got EMD, partial EMD, regular site, authority site, regular site, YouTube, EMD, LinkedIn, and a regular site. So what I would do is probably look at the first site that's not an EMD, just because I want to see, like, it's easier to gauge a non-EMD because you can kind of gauge it more by the links. Alright, so they have it in their title and description. Let's go check their link power. So they got about 1,000 backlinks from 63 domains. Trying to see what their domain authority is. Let's go look at their anchor text. While we get the power metric. I use Open Site Explorer for like power metrics. It's really easy to read, like the power of the links. And then I use HRES more for like anchor text breakdown. So they got Boston SEO for about 6%. And they're using it the way I like to use it, like with another word in there. So I like the way they're using their anchor text. Let's see what type of links they have. Where are they getting these links from? These paid links? PBN type stuff. Yeah, these are like PBNs. They actually are PBNs. They're using some 301. No, sorry. Yes, they're using PBNs. So in this case, they're using a good amount of PBNs, but they're not that strong. So I mean, in this case, it would depend. Okay, how bad do I want this keyword? I know that this person, and they're not even doing their anchor text as efficiently as they could. So look, how many domains did they have? Referring domains. I think it was 60. Yeah, 63 referring domains. So let's say they have like 50 PBNs they're using. They really could probably be using like 20. And if they're more powerful, 10. So it depends on my resources, how bad that I want this keyword, and what it can make me. I see right here this person's using probably about, I could look deeper and get a better number. They're using about 50 PBNs, but they don't do their anchor text as well as we do. One of the reasons for that is they're going after another keyword as well. They're probably ranking well for Boston web design. But yeah, I mean, I don't think they would be that hard to beat for a lot of us. But again, that depends on your resources. So, I mean, that's how I analyze. I just look at the front page, see who's ranking. You know, is it authority sites? Is it EMDs? Is it normal sites? I'll go check out the normal sites and see what types of links they have and their anchor text they're using. All right. But I mean, this person, it wouldn't surprise me if this was an OMJer, or at least someone that has, maybe a SourceWave person, because SourceWave is similar, does anchor text similar to how we do, because they're doing a lot of what we do with anchor text, but they're just adding a little more. But at the same time, we looked at their PBMs, they're not really that strong as far as the metrics that I'm seeing. Now, you could analyze their PBNs if you want, but I wouldn't even need to go that far. I can just tell by looking at the site names. I've been doing it long enough to just look at that. So, I mean, that's the type of stuff I'd look at. Hopefully that was helpful. Let's go get this last question. Oh, dubstep maker, that's right. Alright. It doesn't look like this is a terribly competitive keyword, first of all. But I'm going to go check out that site. I just want to look at the question box really quick. Let's make sure there's no questions on what I just did. Let's see. So let's go analyze this. Let's also go to their site. Dun, dun, dun. So they don't even have much content. It's about their ranking because of their links. They gotta be. Let's see. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, HRES picks up a lot more links than OSE. So that's why there's no link showing here, but there is some link showing here. So we got a lot of branded anchor text. Let's go check the main domain. That's another thing, guys. Another tip to end the webinar, kind of. What I'm saying is the more the main domain has to do with like an inner page topic, the more you're getting out of it. So what I mean is like KLKS. That used to be a radio site. If I start sending like electronic cigarette type links to the home page, that's going to help theme the site for electronic cigarettes more. So when I have my inner page on e-cigarette brands, it's going to help that page rank better. Okay, because it's kind of putting it together from the home page to say, we got links about electronic cigarettes here, and then electronic cigarette stuff on the inner page. So it's kind of putting that together more. And I think that was the case before as well, but I think it just got more important. All right, so that's why I'm going to check his main domain as well, in addition to that inner page. And also, don't forget, he could be hiding links. Okay. There could be links not showing up because he's blocking the bots. He's got a lot of links to his homepage. Again, the domain authority is pretty good actually for his homepage. 38 and 48, that's pretty high. I'm seeing a lot of branded anchor text, which they love seeing. Let's go look at his anchor breakdown over here. He's got pretty much all branded anchor text, and they really like that. So my guess of why he's ranking is either he's hiding links, Okay, which means they wouldn't be showing up in that page we analyzed because he's blocking, the link aggregators, or they just love his site because of all the branding. Okay, he's got a pretty good domain and page authority for his home page, and they can put that together with with dubstep here, and actually he has dubstep stuff here. So he's kind of theming his site for dubstep as well. So that could be the other thing. But it's really hard to say because we don't know if he's hiding links or not. I'm just wondering if he has any dubstep, like exact anchor. Looks like he has a lot of pages of links. Let's see. Dubstep balls. And that's helping him rank for dubstep maker, by the way, because it's a partial word. But be again, because he's hiding links or because of all the branding going on, and they're like associating his homepage with that inner page. There's probably links in here with dubstep and maker. Whether it's in the same anchor text or not, they're kind of throwing it all together. So that would be my guess of why that's ranking. And it's not a super competitive keyword. So all right, guys, we've been on about an hour and 20. There's usually an hour. These are usually an hour, but this went a little over. So we got a lot of newer people here. I'm going to stop this now and get it in the bag for recording. Next one is, it's posted in the members area. I forget the exact date. But it's in your members area, and we'll get it going again. All right, I'm going to stop this recording now, and I will see you all on the next webinar.